3, 2, 1, let's go.
Welcome to the Real Journey Podcast.
Hi, thank you for having me, brother.
So I was telling you that I think you're a staple in this town with your orange audio house, just like Soscol. Like, you're a staple business in town, and I'm very honored to have you on today to hear your story, how you got into business. But before we get into that, like, how is business right now with everything going on?
Yeah, great question, man. First of all, thanks for having me. This means a lot. You know, we've had a very long relationship, and it means a lot for you having me on as one of your first few guests, right? So, business is all right. Right now, we're kicking butt, but when the this whole COVID situation is happening right now, it's really, delicate and really difficult to work with. So basically, what's going on is when we first started with this whole COVID situation, employees were nervous, and everyone was nervous, right? I was nervous. I wasn't sure what was going to happen next, right, with business. So I had to make the right plans to watching the news, and you're like, okay, we got to take the right steps to protect our business and to help our clients. At the same time, we had a book full of clients coming in to get cars done, whether it's window tint, whether it was power door locks, alarm, stereo system, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So what happens is during times like COVID, those things get put on the back burner, right?
Yes.
They're not important things. So they're great. They're amazing things. It makes people happy. I make people smile. That's my goal, right? That's my dream, to make every customer smile that comes into my shop. But when that happens, people call in, they're like, hey, we can't make it right now. We're worried, we're afraid, right? So it took a hit. We took a little bit of a hit. People started rescheduling, or just saying, we'll call you after this whole pandemic is over or getting a little better. And basically it started getting slow. And then I filed for the PPP, and I was worried about all this. And we were considered an essential business, if you really think about it. The reason is because we do breathalyzers for the state of California. Okay. Right? We actually do like 4 different brands of breathalyzers. Right? Okay. So that being said, those people matter also, right? Yeah. And so we wanted to make sure they're on the road in case something more happens, right? Yes. Oh, you need to leave the area. Who knows, right? We didn't know what was going to happen. It could have been a zombie apocalypse for all we were concerned,
with the way
right?
2020 is.
Right? Yeah, it's been crazy. So basically, long story short, we just said, we're going to go ahead and reschedule all our appointments. We're going to go ahead and stay open. But if somebody needs help, like the breathalyzer customers, they kept coming in. Yep. So we slowed down, and then all of a sudden things got a little more comfortable, and people started wearing masks, and all this happened. And this has helped a lot. The masks have helped.
The mask once people started, because at the beginning it was so scary because of the unknown, right? When there's and then we got data, and it's like, okay. And then, because for me even, I was like, all right, I'm not doing anything. I'm not touching anything. Yeah. You know what I mean? If I was one of your clients who was getting something scheduled, I would have called and been like, hey man, I'm putting it on the, we'll revisit this, when when the dust settles. And so,
people get all nervous. The other day it was hilarious. I have this young man helping me once in a while. He comes in and he'll help me put product away or whatever, right? Okay. And he's had severe allergies that day, so he's up front and he sneezes, and this lady looks at him, and this other guy goes, oh, everybody's head. Like the record stops and everybody just goes. They're like, tell him to put on a mask. I was like, yeah, he does have a mask. I think he just has allergies. I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh my! So I was like, hey, put on a mask.
I was in a store the other day, and all of a sudden I felt like I had a tickle in my throat, and I was like, I can't cough right now. If everyone's gonna look, and I was just like, my face is probably turning red from holding back.
Dude, people are really got their guard up on this stuff. We're back to normal, may not be the word, but we're back to kicking butt again. Tint is booked out. Audio's being worked on. We've been getting a lot of boats, Can-Ams, stuff like that. Those little...
I saw the Can-Am that you had in there yesterday.
We had 3 of them already, and we got a Kawasaki Mule coming in, and then we have this... It's called it's a 3-wheel car. We had it the other day. Slingshot.
Oh, yep. I know
We
what
had
you.
a slingshot in
Okay.
there, and we got it coming back because we're adding some more stuff to it. So it's cool. It's really cool. That type of stuff is
It's unique. It's different. And so you do audio, window tint. Do you do wraps too?
So wraps is little bit, not too much. Like, so I refer them out to friends, right? There's someone in Fairfield that I would recommend, someone in town I can recommend. So
Gotcha.
I will do like, okay, so somebody comes in, they're like, okay, we're putting a custom stereo in their vehicle, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, we need this box wrapped. So we're hand building fiberglass and or whatever, molding a box, and we'll wrap it, right?
Okay.
With either a vinyl material, or we'll do leather even if you want, or carpet, but sometimes that vinyl works with that.
Okay.
Or if somebody wants a hood done, stripes, roof, we'll do like partial wraps.
Gotcha, but
We
not
won't do a
full
car.
wraps.
Full wraps are a little bit it's a lot of work, right?
It's a lot of work. And it's a skill in itself, and you need to have, that's like a full on,
right?
Like that's why you say you refer it out, because it's a full business in itself.
Correct.
Just doing that. So focus on what.
Tough job. Tough doing wrap. You have to have a lot of patience, just like window tinting. Like, I don't think I'd be able to tint windows like myself. I do audio, right? But window tint, I'd be like trying to put the film.
It's
lots of patience.
Lots of patience with that, and yeah, people don't really
are great.
Like, it's a skill set, you know. And any craft, it's like, man, even installing audio. Like, I tried to do a little bit, and I'm like, no, what am I doing? Let me take this to Jag. Like, I don't know what I'm doing here. It's a skill set, and to get the sound right and to get all the wiring correct, it's yeah, man, it's an art.
It's an art. There you go. You said it. So that's the word I was about to use. But being an installer, if you really think about it, a car audio installer technician, you're a woodworker.
Yes.
You're a carpenter. You're an electrician, right?
Yes.
You have to put on many hats in order to get some type of system and stuff, because you're using your brain most of the time. So, because believe it or not, none of this stuff like fits in cars like a glove anymore. It ain't like that anymore. It's not. So the thing is, sometimes when you take off a panel, even of a simple car like a Honda Civic, nice car, easy car to work on, you take the door panel off, you're going to put a 6.5-inch speaker because that's the size they make. Now the speaker is either a little bit oversized or something, so you have to get some sort of plate to fit it in, right? So stuff like that is not as plug and play as it used to be, but it's still fun. It's still great. You get to use your imagination more and more.
And the creative side. And you said fiberglass. So do you build custom fiberglass boxes?
All the time.
Do you?
All the time, yeah. Every week we're doing some kind of build.
Okay.
So
full fabrication shop back there, like custom.
We've got a fabrication shop back there, but it's at a certain level right now, but we want to take it to the next level.
That's awesome. And so you were telling me 14 years in business.
Yes, sir.
So how did you get into the audio stereo industry?
So basically the car audio industry, I got into it on accident. So I'll tell you how it happened. So I graduated in high school, right? Late 90s and mid-late 90s. So I'm over there looking, I need a job because I'm going to college and I want to work the times I'm not there. Plus I want to pay for my books and stuff. There's a certain amount I can only trust my mom and put pressure on my mom and dad about. For sure. So
where'd you graduate from, real quick?
As far as high school?
Yeah.
I graduated from Daly City, Jefferson High School.
Okay, so Daly City. Okay. So you graduated out there.
Yeah, it was I grew up out there, born and raised.
Okay.
In Daly City, San Francisco area. So that's why, hence the orange and black, hence my Giants. Right? Those are my roots, right?
Yeah.
I love that team.
Awesome.
So basically, I needed a job. And I went to Toys R Us, Good Guys, Circuit City, Radio Shack. I went everywhere trying to look for a job. At that time, the industry, like the internet boom was happening, right?
Yeah.
So it's really hard to find jobs. So my friend was working at a local stereo shop.
Okay.
And it was a little 5-chain little store, right? Just a single owner. He owned 5 stores and he needed help. He needed a cashier position. So at this time, I don't even know what an Alpine is, right? Like, I don't even know what the heck JL, any of these brands were. I was always into cars.
Yes.
I always liked music.
Yes.
But the actual car audio aspect, I knew there were cars that would sound amazing, and I would see like people at school bring in cars or did come into class with their detachable face, and I'd look at it and I'd be intrigued. Right?
Yep.
But I never got really into it until I bought a car, and then until I got into this business. When I got into the business, the first day I get hired, right?
Yep.
My friend gets
As
me a
cashier.
job.
Yep.
So I'm a cashier. I walk in first day, and he had 5 stores. His first one of his stores was in Burlingame. The manager at that store happened to have a doctor's appointment or called in sick. Something happened.
Okay.
So the owner of the company is there on my first day. So
Okay.
I walk in, clock in, get behind the counter, ready to make some sales, right?
Yeah.
I'm standing there, and the owner looks at me slowly, like I could see his head turn, and he's like doing some paperwork. He goes, "What are you doing?" "Oh, we're waiting for customers." "That's not what we do around here. Go clean. Go do this." I'm like, what the heck? Okay. So, I start cleaning. So I thought this was going to be like a grocery store, right?
Okay,
Where
yeah.
people are continuously walking in and out, or like even like a Good Guy Circuit City at the time, there'd be a lot of
A
traffic,
lot
right?
of transactions
Correct.
happening.
Continuously. So that's what I was imagining.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, in a store, a car audio shop, you don't have somebody coming in. Now, I mean, my shop,
I was gonna say every time I go into your
my shop, I do.
Yeah.
But back then, it was a little different. So
Okay.
people would come in, you'd get a few people in an hour, and then you help them and you try to close the deal, try to help them as best as you can.
Gotcha.
And so anyways, that was my first day. I was nervous. I got scared. I was like, what the heck, man? So the next day I came in, I was ready to clean, right?
Yeah.
So I started cleaning, and that made an impression on the actual manager because I learned that little thing from the owner. Just in one day I learned something like that, right? So every day's been a learning progress. Then he transferred me to San Bruno. That's another store he had, and that's where my wings, I spread my wings and I started learning more. I started asking questions.
Okay.
So there were installers there. They had a salesperson there, Chris, and he was working there for many years. And he's a nice guy, man. He never he was like a buff bodybuilder dude, really nice guy. So I would ask him. I was annoying, man. If I think about it now, I was an annoying little kid that would just ask him but he never not answered a question, man. This guy, he's amazing. I owe a lot to him because he would always, I don't even talk to him anymore. I wonder if hopefully he'll see me on here. But he answered every single question I had, from stupid to smart to whatever, right? Actually, there's no such thing as a stupid question.
There's no such thing,
right?
yeah.
So then he would let me go in the back. So if everything was cleaned up, he'd say, go in the back and go see what the installers are doing. But that was key too, because I would sit in the car while the guys are working. I would sit there. I'd go grab them tools, whatever they need, wires. I'd start running wires for them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm learning. Why am I running this? Why does a power need a ground, right?
Yeah.
Why does it need the same resistance? Why can't it be a smaller wire? Blah, blah, just little stuff.
Okay.
Relay. How do I wire up this relay, right?
Yeah.
And started learning the technical part of it.
Okay.
Right. So then now I'm about 8 months in. Okay.
Okay.
So springtime comes around, and I'm still at the San Bruno store. All of a sudden, I get a call from the owner, and they're like, "Hey, we need somebody to cover the Burlingame store where you started." I worked there for like a couple weeks, and he goes, are you on spring break yet? I go, yeah, spring break started. He goes, I want for your whole spring break, do you mind opening and closing? I'll pay you a little extra. I go, sure, I'll go out there. So I went in. I didn't know if I was ready for this, right?
Okay.
Because I could sell.
Yeah.
I was that's something that God's blessed me with, is selling ability, right?
Yeah.
Even at that point, I was just only 8-9 months into it, but I was learning really fast.
Okay.
And so I went in. And that week that I was in, at the end of the week, I get a call from the owner, and he's like, how did you do that? I said, do what? He goes, every day this week you had great numbers. I didn't even know how to look at the numbers.
Okay.
I was just making sales.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just selling. And he's like, well, in this past week, you sold as much as she did all month last month.
No kidding.
Yeah. And I go, what? He goes, yeah. I go, maybe I got lucky. I don't know. So, right. So he's like, okay. So she's supposed to come back the following week. And next thing you know, he's like, he gives me the store, right? He's like, hey, I'll pay you this amount, right? And you'll get a bonus if you hit this number. You get $1,000, whatever, right? So do you want to pursue and be a manager? So I was like, school, money,
yeah.
school. But also I had baseball, right? I was playing baseball. But with baseball, I wasn't that great, right? So I was like, I'm not going to be an MLB player or anything.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
In college, high school, I was decent, right? But in college, I sucked, man. Like, I got ripped. I was a pitcher.
Okay.
And then I lost confidence while I was pitching. So that's why that was a key part too.
Just the mindset.
Yeah. And so I was like, you know what? Forget baseball, forget school for right now.
Okay.
Maybe I'll stop for a semester or two, make a little bit of money.
Yep.
And then I'll go back to school. The goal was always to go back to school, right?
Okay.
So we started working there. The first few weeks were very hard because you got all these guys that are 20-something, 30-something, 40-something year olds
older
that are
than
reporting to you right
Yes.
now. So I needed to earn their respect because they were like, shut up. What are you gonna, who are you to tell me what to do? You've only been doing this 8 months, 9 months. We've been doing this 8-9 years, right?
Yeah.
So that was gonna be hard in my head.
Okay.
But all I did was I just worked hard, right? So next thing you know, I lined the garage bay up with cars. Boom, 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 boom. And that's how I gained their respect.
Because they're like, man, this guy's bringing in. Were they paid on commission?
They were paid on hourly and a little bit of it's called a TAM. So they were paid a little bit of a commission also. Okay. So they were happy because I was bringing in all this dough. And then, so there was a repair technician. So in the back, there was a gentleman, Japanese gentleman, Henry Yoshizawa, amazing man. Okay. He was in the back and he would go, he would be fixing radios, right? And he'd say, you see all this solder smoke going up, and he's like fixing cold soldering joints on the main PC board. So he was like, okay, Jack, call these people. I finished all these radios. You got to call all of them. So I started calling all these customers to pick up their radios. But at the same time, I would read what he wrote, like what he fixed. Okay. And then I would ask questions like, how did you fix it? So that's how I learned the internals, what a MOSFET is and what diode is, a motherboard, right? Well, like what soldering, why do you solder this or why do you? So it was cool because I had a lot of mentors to guide me through this whole ordeal.
Sounds like. And so would you sell in the same way? Because that's how I feel like you sell now. Is you come when I would come in, you go, Matt, what are you looking for? Well, I'm looking. Well, why do you want that? Well, and I would explain what I wanted for, and you go, well, here, let me show you what I would do. Yep. And then you would just guide me, and I'd be like, man, all right, that sounds perfect.
But that took time, right? Okay. So when I first started, I wasn't selling like that. Okay. Because I didn't have that confidence. Okay. And I didn't have that knowledge, right? So I was selling like, in a way, I was clerking, if you will. Clerking is more like just what the customer asks for and you sell them. But, you learn from the experience. So what happens is you sell somebody something and then you're like, this doesn't sound right. This isn't right. Then you find out, dude, the customers coming to me because I'm the expert. Yes. They came to me for a reason. Yeah. Not because they know what they want. A lot of the times they know what they want to hear, right?
They have an idea.
They have an idea, but they don't know exactly what they want and to equal that idea. Yeah. So that's where my expertise will come in, right? Okay. I'll hear them out. I'll listen to them. That's like the number one thing. You got to listen. For sure. You got to hear what they're saying and you got to ask questions and you got to qualify them. And then from there, you go and sell them what you feel like is right. And if they like a particular brand, you show them that brand and tell them what you think and then tell them about what the world is saying. Right? Yeah. Because it's continuously loud with YouTube. There's so much knowledge.
Knowledge and information.
You got it. So people can go on YouTube and see.
But I was going to say back in the day. So
there was no internet.
Yeah. So it was transactional based. So people would come in and you go, man, yeah, that looks awesome. It's going to look awesome. So what was the sales tactics back then?
So basically back then you still had to ask questions, right? You still had to feel out your customer, see what they wanted, but it was a little bit different because you would sell them anything you wanted to sell them. Hey, I'm looking for a CD player. I need 4 speakers. So I'd run upstairs. What the hell's in stock? Right? Okay, boom, go back downstairs because there was a stocking issue at that store. We had problems with having inventory.
Gotcha.
every business goes through it. I'm not gonna talk trash or anything. It is what it is. We had issues with getting product, so sometimes we'd have to sell whatever's in stock.
Yep.
There was a older gentleman who taught me this word. It was called Swiss.
Okay.
Sell what's in stock, stupid.
Okay.
Right? So basically we had to sell what we had, but we had to also at the same time make sure it was going to be, because you can't go and sell like these MB Quart high-pitched tweeter speakers like to a guy that wants to hear something mellow, smooth, right?
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is it's just going to be overpowering on the tweeter side, and then next thing you know, he's going to be like, man, this is hurting my ears.
Gotcha.
That's like the worst feeling when somebody comes back and they don't like what you've recommended. So
yes,
that's why you got to match up with and it was harder back then.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I was going to say, yeah. And well, especially because you were so new.
Right.
You're learning, you know, and so.
And then the inventory issues didn't help, right? With that company. And yeah, it was like that.
And so you were selling, you're managing. How'd that go? You're managing these older gentlemen,
yes.
You earn their respect. And so where'd it go from there?
So managing was the hard part. Selling was the easy part. Making the business part of it was the easy part. Taking inventory, blah, blah, blah. All that was the easy part for me.
Yes.
Managing was very difficult for me. So
Okay.
it was so hard because everybody's personality is a little bit different, right?
Yes.
This guy needs to be a little bit more babied, where this guy only handles abuse. If you yell at him a little bit, he'll be okay. Where this guy's just got your back 24/7. He's there to help you, whatever you want. So everyone's a little bit different.
Gotcha.
And that was something I couldn't understand in my early 20s or late teens, right? I'm like, man, what the heck, dude?
Well, it sounded like you just went in, put your head down and worked.
Yeah.
I would say it'd be like, well, why don't you just put your head down and work?
Right.
You know, that's the mindset. Like, just work. You're getting paid. What do you just work?
Right.
You know?
And I had a lot of extracurricular activities that I had to deal with. Like these guys would get wasted, and then the next day, I'm not coming to work, man. I go, why aren't you coming to work? My stomach's no good. I go, oh man, this guy's been drinking again. Right?
Oh, okay.
It was one of those things. So it was hard. So we had to get rid of some bad apples, and then it's you have to suffer a little bit though, right? For that time where you're still looking for somebody.
Yes.
But then it just gets better. So I read some managing books, right?
What'd you read? Do you
I
remember?
don't remember.
Okay.
All I know is I remember Managing for Dummies. I started with that, right?
Okay.
And then I read a couple others that customers recommended.
Okay.
There was one that I do remember. It was about strengths and weaknesses.
Okay.
It was really good.
Okay.
Like how to manage people with their strengths and always putting them into positions of winning, right?
Okay.
So that was cool. That book was really cool. That helped a lot.
I'm into reading, and I used to have the mindset of, oh, why would anybody read? That's dumb. I'm gonna, when I was younger, right? Until somebody much more successful says, why wouldn't you read? Somebody takes the time. They have years of experience, knowledge. They achieve success in life, and they take the time to put that in a book where you could read it and apply those same principles. Right. Why wouldn't you read?
Right.
So that's a perfect example of that.
Yeah. Have you ever read something and say, I knew this?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And it just brings it back.
Yes, all the time.
Right? Yeah, I love that.
That's it crystallizes it.
Correct.
It's like, oh, okay, yeah, am I doing this, at a conscious level, not just a subconscious level?
Yeah.
And it brings it to the conscious mind going, okay, let me do that. Let me be a little bit better in this, because I think if I am better, I already understand it, but if I'm better at it, maybe the business will be a little bit better.
Correct.
And so how did business go when you were managing it? Were you in charge of hiring and firing at the time?
I was in charge of almost everything.
So you were
I ran that store like it was my own store.
Okay.
Right? This little kid running a store like it's his own. I can't even imagine having like a 20-year-old right now running my shop like I did. Ran that guy's shop, right? He trusted me. I thank him for that. And it was a huge experience, man.
Man, that's cool.
Yeah.
So you were hiring and firing and
I was doing everything.
And so how did the sales go? How did that store go?
Store did well. We did really good. We did great numbers. We weren't we would, so out of the 5 stores, there was 5 stores. I would consistently be, because the number 1 store was the Redwood City store.
Okay.
And that store was where the owner was, right?
Okay.
So a lot of people gravitate towards the owner in the area. They want to go talk to the owner. Like right now, if you go to my business right now, everyone's like, where's Jack? Can I speak to Jack? I need to talk to Jack. I want to talk to Jack. So that part's hard, right?
Yes.
dividing that duty up, like having a customer say, this is my salesperson, you can trust him, he's
Yes.
like me.
Yes.
Right, that's the hard part. So that owner went and just said, this guy's like me, he's managing the shop. So there would be times where customers walk in, I'm Leo's friend. Okay, all right, cool, everybody's Leo's friend, right? So then I'd call and say, okay, yeah. He'd be like, all right, yeah, just
take care of him, whatever.
Take care of him,
yeah,
right. So there were those kind of times. And the other thing, back to your internet question, back then it was a little bit easier because the internet prices were prices. Like,
gotcha.
Our industry, like right now when I go online and I'll go try to find, okay, this LG TV or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You look around and they're very matched prices.
Yes.
But for car audio, for some reason, our industry was getting, I don't know what the right word is, hoard out. Let's just say it.
Okay.
Let's call a spade a spade. So you would go in and I would buy this radio. Say, for instance, I'd buy this radio for $100, right?
Okay.
And you're supposed to sell it for 180 or whatever, right?
Okay.
You go online, it's 110, 105. Sometimes it's even less than what you buy it for.
Okay. So
why is that happening?
Yeah.
Right?
People were undercutting the wholesale.
Correct.
Okay.
And you want to know how that was happening was because the manufacturers cared about one thing, and that was moving boxes rather than caring about you and me,
Gotcha.
the consumer, right?
Yeah.
So they want to move boxes. So Mr. A over there, he goes and he's like, I'll give you $1 million PO for these, but you got to give me an extra 15, 20, 30% off. So even if he sells it at cost,
he's still making
30%,
20,
30%, right?
Yeah.
So he's in a different level now, where I'm still buying it at 100 because I'm only buying six pieces or 12 pieces or even 20 pieces.
Yeah.
Where he's buying $1 million PO, right? So that was killing our industry for a minute there. That really hurt. So finally we're catching up and getting things back to the way where there's not as much markup as it used to be too. So things are getting back to normal as far as our industry is concerned, but it was hard for a while there.
And as the internet was coming too, were you seeing sales going down because people would just buy online?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. That was happening, but here's what was happening. They would buy things online, and a lot of the times these internet guys play a lot of games too. So because just like when somebody walks into my store, they know what they wanted here.
Yes.
But the internet can't help you with that.
For sure.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
The internet can't go tweak your system to make it sound amazing. That's my specialty. Like I'll go out to a car, I'm just helping a customer with the time, I'll just start going in there and start tweaking everything.
Yeah.
They're just looking at me like, how'd you do that? Right?
Yeah.
It's like, it's a EQ. You have a 16-band EQ, you have a 30-band parametric EQ, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So you just go in there and start. I have an app on my phone where I could just go in and I could turn on the SPL meter and I can see how much gains are everywhere and just adjust it that way.
Okay.
So these things were non-essential, not existing back then.
So people would buy it and then bring it into the shop, and
right, that's what would happen.
Yeah.
So for a while there, we would take them in. Then a lot of the times, internet stuff wouldn't work. Like, and then I bought it brand new, but the internet is like the internet. Right?
Yeah.
So there's some good places, but
And
there's
then-
some weird places too.
Absolutely.
So these people would buy a $100 Rockford Fosgate that retails for $799, and they're asking why isn't it working? Because
it's a knockoff.
too good to
Yeah,
be true. Right?
exactly.
I got to tell you a quick story.
Yeah.
I opened an amp, Rockford Fosgate. So heavy amp. It was called the Power Series T1000 BD back in the day. So took it. So we're installing it. It's not turning on. I'm like, what the heck? I flip it around and you can see the void warranty. There's a sticker on every amp that says void warranty if you undo the screws.
Yeah.
I saw it's been tampered a little bit. I was like, this is weird. Let me just open it. Right. So
Yeah.
I just opened it up. Fish weights inside of the amp.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Out of the box.
Out of the box. Swear.
Wow.
Fish weights. I didn't even know what they were because I didn't know there was even such thing as fish because I'm not a fisher guy.
What's all this lead in here?
Right. And then my technician comes and he's like, dude, those are fish weights. I was like, oh.
Just to make it so it feels in the box that it feels that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
And
internet's
a lot of that
crazy.
was happening back then. A lot of it was happening. Now that's slowed down quite a bit.
Still happens though.
Yeah.
Because just when this pandemic started, I ordered some face masks and ordered them $80 worth of face masks, and 3 days later, I'm like, man, well, I haven't got shipping notifications. Where's the website's gone? This email address no longer exists.
Dang.
Boom, scan out $80 on the internet.
Dang.
So it still happens,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But there is a lot more reputable sites. And so let's go back. So you were running this business. How long did you manage that?
5 years, I believe. So 4 years. 4 years.
4 years.
Yep.
And did you go back to school at all during that time?
So towards the end.
Okay.
Right? So I'm over there managing, making decent money.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm saving money. And I was still living with my mom and dad, right?
Okay.
So I hardly had any bills. Right?
Yeah.
When I first started, though, I got to tell you a quick story. I bought a Thunderbird, 95 Thunderbird. And the main thing was I was like, I'm going to work at the stereo shop for 3 months.
Okay.
I'm going to buy everything at cost, and then I'm going to quit. And I'm going to go back because I got a call from Toys R Us. A few months later, we're ready to hire you. I was like, I'll just go work at Toys R Us. It was a little bit more money.
Okay.
It's like $2 more an hour at the time, but I didn't get the management position yet, right? So I'm rewinding back to before that. So I was like, okay, let me just work 3 months. I'm going to buy everything at wholesale cost, and then I'm going to get my beat, and I'm going to leave. So I started buying stuff. My paychecks would go straight. My dad's like, what are you doing? Why you put your whole check in your car? Why you do that? I'm like, I just want to have fun, Dad.
Right.
He understood. He was a boy at one point, right?
For sure.
So I got all the beat, got everything done. 3 months go by, and like I said, I fell in love with the industry. It's like, you ever watch Meet the Zohan?
No.
Don't mess with the Zohan.
Oh yes.
Yeah, don't mess with the Zohan.
Yeah.
He was like, they're all like wanting to he wanted to be a hairstylist, right?
Yes.
So not to spoil it for the viewer, for your base, but he goes. His uncle had an electronics store, and so he's like, once in an electronics store, you're always gonna be in an electronics store. It like sucks you in. And then he's like, you see Goofy, whatever his name was over there. He's selling a cell phone, and he's going like this, right? He's like, to his cell phone. He wanted to be a hand model, but now he has to, right? It's just so funny, right? So go pursue your dream of being a hairstylist.
Yeah.
And stuff, right? But I thought about that. It makes me laugh because that's my
because
story.
you got sucked in. Yeah.
I'm sucked in deep.
Did you have something you wanted to do besides be a professional baseball player?
Policeman.
Yeah, no kidding,
I
huh?
wanted to be a police officer.
Good thing you.
I know.
Right now, man, that's a tough client. I feel so terrible for police officers right now.
Yeah, I do. But there's some bad ones that need to get weaned out.
There's definitely some bad ones that need to get weaned out. It's just a crappy situation altogether with that right now.
It's so very bad right now.
That's funny because that's what I was gonna be.
You too, huh?
I went to the criminal justice school and started doing the whole thing. And then Mari, she's like, I'll break up with you if you are a cop. Like, I don't want a cop as a husband.
Wow.
I don't want to worry about if you're coming home. And I was like, I like you more than I like young. And I'm like, man, I'm in love with this girl. All right, I'll figure something else out.
Yeah, good job.
And so that's crazy that you wanted to be a cop too.
I did. I really wanted to be a police officer bad.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was a dream, like, to be, and I see all the police officers coming in now, right? My customers, and I'll start talking, you got my dream job, bro. I'll tell them. They're like, it's not too late. I go, it is.
It's too late.
It's too late.
Yeah. And so 5 years running that store, right? To go back. So you're running that store for 5 years. 4 years.
Yeah.
4 years.
So I went back to school
Okay.
the last year. So what happened is we lost our lease at that Burlingame store.
Okay.
It was a Mike Harvey Acura big old building right next door, and he owned the plot of land that the car stereo shop was on. Right?
Okay.
My car stereo, and he was gonna kick us out, and I didn't really know him. He had a relationship with Leo, and I fast forward 6 years later, I met him at a casino. I'm playing poker at a casino, right?
Yeah.
Texas Hold'em, and right across is Mike Harvey.
Okay.
So I start talking to him. I was like, I'm gonna take your money tonight, and he goes, What are you talking about? I go, I'm gonna take that money tonight because you took my store away. Right? I was messing with him.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Then we just started a conversation, and we had a really good time. We played for hours and hours, and just.
That's funny.
But it was fun.
Now, were you running the P&L? Like
that part I was not doing. His
Okay.
wife was doing that part.
Okay.
So I would go, as far as P&L and all that stuff is concerned, I would go up to this part. I would finish the dailies, right? So
Yep.
end of the day, you batch out the credit card totals, stamp that, you make a deposit slip for the amount of cash and checks you took in, put that in a plastic bag, put it inside of a little safe. Then every day they would send a driver to all the stores to pick up those, and then they would go and deposit that.
Okay.
So that's when his wife would take over from there.
So-
Thankfully I didn't have to worry about that part of it yet.
And were you in control of ordering product and making sure you were stocked at this
To
time?
a certain point, but remember that store had product issues, right?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Yeah.
He would what's the old saying? Buy from someone and sell to someone, right? Like,
Yes.
buy from Paul to sell to Pete or something.
Yeah, rob Peter to pay
Rob
Paul.
Peter to pay Paul. Thank you
That-
for that.
yeah.
So yeah, he was doing one of those things, right? So,
That's what I asked that question
Yeah.
because the lease ended, and I was just wondering if he wasn't paying the lease. And
no.
Just-
It wasn't because of that. It was
Okay.
because his contract expired.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And my car, we wanted to tear that building down and put a used car lot there.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay,
but,
that makes sense.
But then we went to I got transferred over to the Daly City / Colma store.
Okay.
And that was great, man, because I was like 2 minutes away from my house.
Okay.
Seriously, like literally, if I didn't get any red lights, all green lights, I would get to work in like less than 5 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes.
So
I'm
you're
at
loving
work.
that commute.
The commute was great.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I was going to school. Then I started school at night because I thought to myself, right, I was like, do I just want to be like this manager or salesman my whole life? Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yes.
But I wanted to do more. Just
Yes.
something in my heart told me I wanted to do more.
Yep.
And I wanted to be an owner. At that point, that's when I was like, I want one of these stores for myself.
Okay.
Like one day I'm going to open up a stereo shop. right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So what I did was I went back to school.
Yep.
And I started to go to business. That was my new focus, was business.
Okay.
Business management. Try to get a degree in that, right?
Just learning everything you can about business
Correct,
operations.
correct.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
I knew the ins and outs of the industry.
Yeah.
But I didn't know much about the business. I mean, I knew what they taught me, but as far as the debits and credits and
Yes.
P&L, like you were talking,
Yeah.
and just managing that part of it, I had no clue.
Gotcha.
So I needed to go back to a school to learn that. And I didn't feel like community college was going to be that. I wanted something a little bit faster paced that would concentrate on just business part of it, right?
So what'd you get into?
I went to Heal, dude.
Oh,
yeah,
perfect.
Yeah, it was just a 2-year, associate's degree type of college, right?
Yeah.
So I went to Healed, and it was cool. I learned a lot. It was money well spent. I know, like, they're not around anymore and whatever, but I don't have nothing bad to say about that place. I thought it like shaped me up a little bit.
I think they were ahead of their time, because I think that we're going to see a lot more of specific schooling as the years progress, as colleges kept getting in. People are like, I don't want to go to school for all
Right.
these classes. I want to go to specialized
Right.
school.
Brother, you bring that up. I took a class on boom. So what? God, I can't think. Baby boomers.
Yep. Just
Gen
the generation,
X,
Gen X,
yeah,
Gen Y, all that stuff.
All that. I
Yeah.
took a class on generations, right?
Okay.
And like that class was also like how to sell to the new gen, how to sell to baby boomers, how to sell to gen. So I'm a cusper. That's what they call us.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
We're not actually.
We're like right in between,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
we're right in between. We're not millennials.
Yes.
But we're not the Gen X, or what do they call that? Gen X, I guess.
Gen
the
X, yeah.
70s.
Mhm.
So we're cuspers, right?
Yeah.
So that being said, we can relate with both sides.
Yes.
So that being said, but we're compassionate for Gen Xers and baby boomers, but at the same time, we can relate to the millennials.
Yes.
But with the compassion, we can also like say things to millennials like "back off, dog," right?
Yeah.
So I learned a lot there, but
Okay.
that you bring that up. So yeah, it's crazy how.
Just the times are changing, and
Yeah.
now the different generations, the different focuses, everything's changing.
Yeah,
And I think for the better. And
Oh
that-
yeah, absolutely. I agree. So bringing back the whole reason I say that is because that one of the things I learned at that deal was this new age of
Yes.
kids.
Yes.
They would rather go to a career They go to school. They were learning from our mistakes of getting in debt for, we went to school, like a lot of people my age went to school for these 4-year colleges, or they went a little bit longer. Now they're in debt like crazy, right?
Yes.
So the kids are seeing this.
Yes.
These kids are smart nowadays, and they're seeing this, and they just want to go, and they care more about a career than about making top dollar. There's some that still want to do, right? But in a generalization, this new gen coming out is more about getting a career started than going to a 4-year college and trying to get
a career doing good.
Correct.
A career with a purpose.
With a purpose.
Yes, that's big time. Like you see, I mean, you're seeing that people are like, man, it's not about money and going and getting all you can. It's like, man, I want to do good, and I want to do good financially, but I don't need to have private jets, and but I also want to do good for the environment. I want to do good for my community. I want to do good, and it's just a different mindset, and it's cool. It's cool to see.
It's great.
Yeah, I think it's great to see that transition.
And that's why I think what you just said is huge, with them schools coming in for certain types of jobs, right?
Yeah,
like they already have barber schools, and right, and they have,
I went to real
UTI.
estate school, and I was reading an article on universities, and they were talking about taking these professors and having them record their lectures and record all of their classes, and then putting that online so COVID like forced this hand that was inevitable. So it's like, okay. And also we're seeing a lot of people that don't have to go to the office, because it's like, oh wow, they can work from home.
Right.
They can work from Zoom. They are actually more productive, because now they're like, well, I got to get this done. I'm able to take my kids to school. I'm able to do a few little leisurely things, but I'm going to make sure my work's done, and I'm going to make sure it's done at a high level.
Right.
And we're going through a shift in all sorts of things and technology. And so, talking about the technology is just shifting things.
Yeah.
So it's real cool.
Yes.
And
it's
so,
amazing.
So did you do the 2 years?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I graduated.
And you were still managing the shop at that time?
I was managing the shop, but I was going to night school.
Okay.
But there was a little incident that happened in between that, right? That caused me to go to another store, right? So basically, the guy I was working for had some issues, like somebody was stealing a whole bunch of stuff from him, one of the managers at Colma. So he sent me over to Colma.
Okay.
One of the things he told me was keep an eye on this guy. Right. And,
gotcha.
This guy was like taking parts. There's so many issues, man. Every day I would have an upset customer that I had to deal with. It was stressful. So much stress. So like this guy would come, my car's been here for a year. A year?
What?
Yeah, I know. It's like, a year? Yeah, and it's not done yet. It's that Mustang. And this dude's like from EPA back then. EPA is nothing. I mean, I don't know what it is. It's like a nice area now.
Yeah.
Back in the day, East Palo Alto, bro, was like nothing to mess with, bro. Like highest murder rate per capita in America. It was like crazy, like gangsters.
Like someone would come in there and be like, give me my car.
Yeah, bro. This guy was hella cool, bro.
Okay.
I worked with him after that. I've sold him some stuff after that, but he was mad, dude. He was ready to like fight.
Well, I would be too if my car was in there for a year.
Right, and I felt for him. So like I had to call the police though, because this guy was going really like he was ready to whoop the manager's butt. The guy that was the manager.
Why didn't the owner just fire him?
Because they were trying to figure. That's what I was. That's the right. That's the.
Just get rid of him.
So his excuse was he was trying to
catch him,
figure out how much he took, because the guy admitted it. Now they were trying to figure out how much he took to figure this whole thing out, and he needed him to figure out what inventory was missing and that, because he was cooperating. Because the guy was like, all right, I'll pay it all back or something, right?
Yeah.
And it ended up being a lot of money, like 6 figures.
No kidding.
So that's what I was told. So I went there. I was stressed out. Now, and also the owner is now hypersensitive to anybody even looking at something weird, right? And he's gonna think they're stealing, right?
Yes.
So like, I never stole a penny from anyone in my life. I think that's why I have such good luck at my store, because of my karma.
Good karma,
Indian, right? So we believe in that. So basically, what ends up happening is I got a guy. I'm a big fan of Jordans. I love Jordans, right? Like ever since I was a kid, I've been into shoes, right?
Okay.
Even though we couldn't really afford getting me good shoes until I got into like middle school or whatever. But I was always into it, right?
Yes.
So that being said, guy comes in, works at Foot Action. He's like, bro, I want to buy the new Alpine R Type R woofer. I go, I want to buy the new Jordans, the North Carolina Jordans. He goes, I'll sell you them at cost if you sell me those woofers at cost.
Okay.
Management position. I haven't bought anything in a long time.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll sell these to you at cost. But it's got to be cost plus 10% because we got to make sure that the store gets a few bucks because it's not my store. If it was my store, I'd give them to you for free.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's not my store.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, cost plus 10. I do the job, do the math, boom, send it over. And I get a call from the owner because I guess he went to the other store because he blew one up and he didn't want to tell me. So he goes to the other store to get it warranted. And the guy's like, why did he sell it to you so cheap? And this and that, starts asking questions.
Gotcha.
The guy at the other store.
Yeah.
He tells the owner calls me in. You're stealing. I go, no, I'm not. I wore those Jordans to that meeting when we went to meet in Redwood City, right?
Gotcha.
And I showed him, I go, you see these shoes? This is why I did that. It was just a trade. It was paid. Cash was. And I even added 10%. And I go, you usually don't have a problem with this. What's going on? What's the big deal?
Yeah.
He's like, you can't do that. And now everybody saw this, so I need to make an example. So you're suspended for 3 days. I go, okay, cool. Here's my keys. Talk to you later. I left. I drove right across the bay to a shop called Auto Haas in Hayward. Went inside because one of my friends that was the general manager of the 5 stores, he started working there.
Okay.
I went to go visit him. Went in, said hi. Hey, Juan. He's like, what are you doing here? Spying on me, right?
Yeah.
I was like, nah, I came to say hi, man. Okay, let's go upstairs. He takes me upstairs to their meeting. He introduces me to Junior, who's the son of the owner, right?
Okay.
And now he's the owner.
Yeah.
And he's like, so what's up? Tell me about yourself. Well, I do this, that, and I manage this. I do all these things. And they're getting impressed, right?
Okay.
So he's like, how's your pay going? I told him about my commission and how much I'm making. And then I get $1,000 bonus if I sell over 60,000 a month, whatever. Right.
Yeah.
And he's like, 60,000 a month. If you sell that here, I'll give you $1,000 cash. I go, you sure about that? He goes, yeah. I go, all right, I'll take the job. Right.
No.
So I took the job, and then the guy's calling me back to come to work. I go, hey man, I'm not going to work there anymore. I'm done. Why? I go, well, I felt like you accused me of stealing, and that really put a bad taste in my mouth. And
Absolutely.
I don't think I can have the same type of momentum, same type of enthusiasm at your play, because that's always going to be in my head.
Because you the reason you succeeded is because you took ownership.
I did,
and now that got taken away. And
I did.
Yeah.
Everywhere I worked, I treated it like my own place. Bro.
Yeah.
I used to work at I worked at a liquor store for my cousin.
Okay.
And I was like 16 years old selling liquor. Dude, this is not good. But right, because he would leave, and then I'm like running this whole store.
Yeah.
But at that time, I took ownership of my cousin's store. Like, this is my family's store, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna do right.
Yes.
I'm gonna treat them well. They treated my mom and dad so well. Like, these people, my cousins took my mom and dad when they came to America. They couldn't really speak English too well. My mom couldn't, and they were just immigrants here, right? In the 70s, 80s, and they took care of my parents anytime we were going anywhere. My cousins would always so I'll always have a lot of respect for them. I'll never forget that. So long story short, I'm running their store, and I'm like, I got to treat this like
it's your own.
It's my
ownership,
own, right? And I took a lot of pride in that too. So then when that happens, it hurts, right? It hurts so much.
Well, it's you don't feel like you can make those moves and take care, because it all comes down to taking care of customers, taking care of clients. And when you have that ownership,
you can do it.
somebody's like, man, I'm not happy, and you're like, hey man, let me take care of this. I'm going to take care of you. We appreciate you. But now all of a sudden you have to second guess yourself in that situation. Like, well, am I going to get suspended for another 3 days if I take care of this client, this customer? So yeah, it's
So I tell them the story why I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Tell them about the shoes. I got nothing to hide.
Yeah.
And they start joking about it, laughing about it. So then they're like, you could start as soon as you want. I'll go, okay, I'll be here Monday. So yeah, I started. They were like, we want you to clock in. We're going to pay you this amount per hour. But if your commission beats your hourly. So I didn't clock in at all, right?
Okay.
Because I used to, the other shop I worked at, I got so jaded, right? Because this guy would like not pay you on time.
Okay.
There's all kinds of stuff this
Yes.
dude was started doing, right? So I was jaded and I was scared and I didn't trust. I had my guard up, right?
Yes.
So I knew I could sell. So I was like, I'm not going to clock in because they're going to just pay me my hourly, even because I know my commission is going to be higher. I already knew my commission was going to be higher than my hourly. So I was like, I don't want to even give them that chance.
Okay.
So I'm not going to clock in at all. And they're like, why aren't you clocking in? I go, I don't need to clock in. They're like, but you should, because how else? I go, my commission will be fine. Don't worry. Right. And then they're like, okay, we'll see. And because I got screwed so many times of thousands of dollars. So,
yes.
Right. Not
For
to-
sure. No, yeah, you got to, because all of a sudden they go, well, we're just gonna pay your hourly this time. We'll see
Right.
if this was a fluke this
Yeah.
month, and next month we'll
Yeah.
compare the numbers.
But little did I know, this company was straight by the books.
Okay.
They were amazing. I learned so much from them. I learned how to do business the wrong way at one shop, and I learned how to do business paperwork wise the right way at this other shop. Right?
Okay, yeah.
So here's what ends up happening. I start there. My first month, I hit the number, right?
Yep.
And I get my $1,000 bonus, and I'm not even working full time yet.
Okay.
Because I'm working from 9 a.m. till about 3:30, 4.
Okay.
And then I'm driving straight to San Francisco to go to school.
Okay.
Right. So I was just working those hours, and that's it. And I was doing well. I was first month, I'm already their number one salesperson.
Gotcha.
Like they would have reports every month. Boom. I'm like second place. I'm already double what their number is, right?
And what do you think attributed to that? Because were you calling resources outside of the shop, or was this all walk-in traffic?
Walk-in traffic.
So
I was
everybody
closing
had
everyone.
So everyone had the same opportunity as you.
Absolutely, but I closed. My closing rate was amazing.
Okay.
It was like, if it was like in the high 90% closing rate.
Okay.
That's like impossible.
Gotcha.
Right?
It is impossible. Yeah, it's very difficult in sales. Is, I think, one of the number one skills like anybody should have, because you're selling and everything.
Right.
You need your daughter to eat something. You got to sell her why she should eat something. You know what I
Correct.
mean?
It's life.
It's like
Selling is life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great percentage, 90%. So
Right.
okay, I was just curious if you were doing something outside, but no, just all walk-in traffic.
But I brought my own clientele too. There's people
Okay.
like, I've had my cell phone number since I was 18 years old, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
And I still have that same number. So
Gotcha.
people still call me that have dealt with me decades ago that are still coming and talking to me, right? They remember me.
Gotcha.
So I brought in my own clients. At the same time, I would close the people that would walk in.
Yes.
And they would do a lot of dealership work too. There's tons of dealership, but we didn't get paid on the dealership work at all.
Okay.
That was zero tolerance. You help, but you can't get paid on that. So I
Gotcha.
would help them, right? I
Yeah.
would sell to them, but then they would see, like, if I do it like I was doing added work, they were so good to me, bro. They would like say, you know what, you're gonna get commission on this one. Don't worry.
Gotcha.
Like they were like that. That's how. But most of the time it was zero tolerance most of the time, unless it was really hard work put
Okay.
into one of those deals. So they did a lot of dealer work. This store was kicking butt all of a sudden, right? So I was running the front part of the store.
Okay.
Right. I was the sales guy. There was a couple other sales guys. They would always bring in another sales guy to try to like
Compete,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Right. Because I was running wild at that store. I was like just doing everything.
Okay.
And then I would leave, and then they would have like sales meetings, right? And I would never showed up to them because I was at school when those sales classes were happening or meetings.
Okay.
So like, so the owner's son, Junior, he goes, "Hey, Jag, you need to come to the next meeting." I go, "I got class." And he goes, "Can you skip class one day? Because everyone's like questioning, why isn't Jag here? Everyone else is here. Why isn't he here?"
Gotcha.
And I would show them my numbers and tell them that's why he's not here.
Exactly. Numbers talk.
So long story, I went in and because I
You're a team player.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
a team player.
Mhm.
So We're doing good. I'm still hitting my bonuses, still doing great. And then all of a sudden I graduate.
Okay.
So now I've graduated. Now my goal is to find a stereo shop, right? And
Okay.
start working. But I still work there for a few more years. And during that time, I was consistently looking for some sort of shop being sold or some sort of opportunity I looked in. There was a shop in Burlingame I looked at. There was a shop in Walnut Creek I was looking at. I came this close to buying the Walnut Creek store.
Okay.
And then Napa came along. And the way Napa came is, so when I started working full time, I started selling I was selling gross sales 6 figures every month for this little front end part of the store, and that was like really I was breaking every sales record they ever had. Right, this shop's been around since the 70s. Right?
Gotcha. Okay.
So also, he owned the Napa store. So one day, where I'm cleaning, and I hear Senior talking to someone on the phone saying, "Yeah, you know what? This guy is just writing letters to us all the time. We're gonna, instead of managing the shop, let's sell or close the shop." And then I was like, "What the hell is he talking about?" Right?
Yeah. Ears perked up.
I
You're
was
like,
what? Am I gonna lose my job? And then he says Napa, right? I'm like, Napa store was badass. I remember I went to the Napa store one time for a Midnight Madness sale. They needed all hands on deck. So I drove all the way to Napa. And when I got there, I looked around. I liked the store. It was a little comfy little store.
Yep.
I thought this place was cool. It had a retail vibe to it.
Yeah.
And dude, the customers were so cool.
Yeah.
It was different than selling in Hayward. Hayward, you get like everything, everyone, right?
Yeah.
Which is cool too. But Napa was different.
Yeah.
There was something very different that like made me feel good, right?
Okay,
I was like,
yeah.
dude, these people are nice.
yes.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Nobody's a jerk. Like everyone's having a good time, smiles everywhere. I
Yeah.
go, this is my kind of place.
Okay.
Man. I like this place. Right?
Okay.
So now let's fast forward back.
Yes.
So I remember that. So I'm driving home now. I'm like, dude, should I call him? Should I call him and say something? Like I'm on the San Mateo Bridge now. I'm still thinking, right? Because I had to cross the bridge. It's like a 45-minute drive. And I'm thinking. So and then I was talking to one of my very good friends, Dave, and he's like, so I'm talking to him. We just talk. We used to talk all the time on my commute home. And then I go, bro, this is what I heard. You think I should call? He's like, hang up with me now and call.
Yeah.
I go, yeah, you know
Good
what, you're
man.
right.
That's a good friend. Yeah.
He's a brother.
Yeah.
So I just texted him earlier. So I call Senior. I wasn't trying to pay attention to your conversation or anything, but I overheard you say you want to sell the Napa store or close it.
Yes.
I'm interested. Okay, we'll talk tomorrow. Click.
Did you talk to him much, or were you talking to Junior? Okay, so
I talked to both of them. Like, I would kiss Senior. He had a bald head. I would kiss him on his head, man. Like, he was like my dad. I call him dad, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
Like, dude, they treated me like their own kid, man.
Gotcha.
Like, so much love, dude. So much love, bro.
Gotcha.
Like, I'm so lucky to have these mentors, bro. Like, their son. Like, a lot of people talk trash, right? That worked about him. I have no bad things to say about him. I still ask him for advice till this day. That guy was amazing, bro. But the reason people would talk trash is because he's a passionate man, right? And he cares about his business and he cares about everything going on, his customers, he cares about his employees. So people take that as arrogance, or people take it as if he gets mad about something, it's not because he's trying to pick on you. It's because you did something wrong. And that's what the type of guy he was, right? He was like a little hardcore.
Well, and it comes back to you taking ownership. So you went in, you took ownership. So those are your clients. And so he sees that, and it's rare. Unfortunately it's rare to find people that good talent, because that's one of the things when I'm talking to business owners and entrepreneurs, finding good people that are willing to take ownership. And if you're willing to do that and just put your head down, work, man, the sky's the limit. Right? It seems like, because you stand out in a pool of normal. Complain, let me not protest, but let me strike for a raise. And, it's like, no, you work hard, and you move up, and if
Yeah.
you're not moving up in there, you take that skill and you move somewhere else,
Right.
and then you
Yeah.
you know, and so you took ownership, and so
Right.
I think that's probably a big factor of it.
And taking ownership means not just during the good times. There's bad times, there's hard times, right?
Yes.
You have to be there for all those times and like fix all those issues, right?
Yeah.
It's not just like easy. This industry is super hard. It's a very hard industry right now, especially cars are coming with all kinds of cool stuff already in them, right?
Oh, that's true, huh?
Right? Like they're coming with Bluetooth, they're coming with, so that gets a little bit harder to do. But that's where the strong shops, I feel like we have a strong shop. That's where the strong shops survive.
Yeah.
The strong shops do well because we're specialists.
Yes.
And we know our stuff, and we will guide our customer the right way. And that's part of the whole deal.
Gotcha.
So he goes and
so he hangs up on you.
yeah. So the next day, I didn't even ask to go to his office. He opens the window and go upstairs. Jack, come upstairs. All right. So I go upstairs. I sit down. So what do you know about business? Right? He starts he starts grilling me, right? And he's like, okay, what about this? Can you read a P&L sheet? What about this? What about that? How do you know what the store's even worth? So I told him, okay, well, I learned the formula in school, and it's that you take the profit and you see, right? And then he goes, okay, so we did the math, and this is the number, and he goes, is that the number you think the Napa store's worth? I go, well, depending on inventory, give or take. He goes, well, come up with a number. So I came up with a number, and he goes, okay, sold.
No kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. I should have said $10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he said, okay, we're going to work on this. So we started talking. He started getting everything in a row.
Yeah.
While I started getting my stuff ready. And then he brought me in for another meeting after a few weeks after we're starting to get things rolling. And he offered me something huge.
Okay.
He goes, hey, Jag, I know you want to be an owner of a business, right?
Yeah.
I go, yes, that's my dream now. And he goes, how about if I bring you into the store and you have some ownership in the store? So at the end of the year, you'll be part of an owner of the shop, and we'll give you, your share of profit or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And I was really I was blown away, right? But at the same time, I told Senior that I really respected that offer, and thank you so much. But I want to succeed or I want to fail on my own. I want to know I can do this or I can't do this, or I want to know I can.
Yes.
And he said, "Who am I to stop a man from his dreams?" And he sold me the business. There, we signed the paperwork. While we're about to sign the paperwork, another guy calls in. He owns a stereo shop in Santa Rosa. I'm not gonna say any names, but anyways, he wanted a stereo shop in Napa too, and he's like, "Senior, this is so and so from so and so, and I heard you were selling the Napa store. I'm ready to buy it." Oh, sorry. I have a good man named Jag. He was a salesperson for me. He's buying it right now. Actually, we're about to sign the paperwork. I'll pay you. I heard him say it. I'll give you 20 grand, 40 grand more than him. He goes, it's already a done deal. I'm sorry.
What a good guy.
Yeah.
What a good guy.
He's an amazing man.
Because a lot of people wouldn't have wanted to lose you. And so they might have not even said, oh, well, we're just going to close it down. Oh, we haven't made up something, right? Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But he was like, all right, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And then he gave you the opportunity. And then he still didn't want to lose you. So he's like, how can I keep him? Let me make him an offer.
Right.
You said no. And he goes, all right, no problem.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah.
And do you think that comes with his own confidence of knowing that his business succeeded on his shoulders, not anybody else's shoulders?
Right.
Whereas some people will be like, man, I don't want to lose this person. Where he's like, I'll get somebody else. We'll train them. We've done this before.
Yeah.
And that's cool. That's a really cool story.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
And then he, one time I lost a key component to my store too, right? A key installer.
Okay.
And I called Senior, and I was upset, man. I was sad, man, and I was scared, and
like hurt, personal, right?
Hurt,
yeah.
Like I was just like, man, what am I gonna do without this guy now? He's my number one guy, right?
Okay.
And I call him, and he's like, "You're the number one guy, idiot!" Right? Like he's reminding me.
Okay.
Right?
Gotcha.
That store is nothing without you. Remember, it's you, not them. Okay. I'm like, yeah, you know what? You're right. He
Yeah.
goes, you're going to do better than ever. This is going to be amazing, blah, blah, blah. And sure as heck, we're like doing better than ever. I still talk to the guy that left. I mean, he told the gentleman that I'm speaking of, that was my installer, great man.
Yeah.
He told me from the minute he started working for me, like he called me. So after we made the deal with Senior, I get a call from this guy and he's like, hey, Jack, I heard you're opening up a shop. I'd like to be your installer. And then he tells me why he would do well for me, this and that. And I go, sure, you're in. But he goes, I got to tell you one thing. When my grandma passes away, if it's 4 months from now, 4 years, 40 years, whatever it is, I'm not going to be working for you anymore, because I'm going to get some money, and that's going to be the end of my working, because it's going to be enough money for me to not have to work anymore.
Gotcha.
I go, I respect that. No problem. So she stayed alive for about 8 years.
Okay.
About 8 years after that. That's when she passed away, and sure as heck, a month or two later, he was gone.
You can't blame him.
No, not at all. He gave me, I love that guy too.
That's
like,
awesome.
Well, there's so many like people that I've met through this journey that I have so much love for. You know what I mean? Like I've made great friends in this journey. It's a fantastic the journey.
That's what it's all about, man. And so would you like some of those stories? I always find talking about the downs, like I remember the downs almost more than the ups sometimes, right? Because that's when
that makes you.
Yeah. And so it's like when you open the shop, was it tough or?
So we do the whole thing, and I get my sign made. I use all local people in Napa because I want to give them business and I want to introduce myself, right? So I used all local businesses to get my sign up, the awning up, boom, everything, right? Painted the store. I was like, dude, this store is ugly, bro. From the outside, inside it's cool, but the outside, because it had those old 70s rocks.
Yes.
Right? So I was like, what am I gonna do? So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna Giants colors, orange and black, baby.
And
so I painted the whole store orange and black.
And now it's a staple.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now I'm known for that, right?
Yes.
My car, I had an orange Corvette, remember?
I remember it sitting out there every day.
Be
like, oh, Jack's at the shop today. Every day, 6 days a week.
Yep. So basically, every 6 days a week. So basically, I was just like, I'm going to paint this orange and black. I'm going to make it bright so people can see it off the street, because we're a little bit back on the street on Soscol. Now we're like right up front. But back, that building was a little bit further back because it was a dealership. It was actually a car dealership at one point. So they would have all their cars in front, and then the buildings would be in the back. That's the old dealership way of doing things. So I'm in there, and I pay my store. I pay cash, okay?
So you were saving. As you're working, you're a saver.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm a saver.
Okay.
So I paid that store off cash. But I got to tell you something that I did that was stupid, but it worked out.
Okay.
After I paid everything, I paid all the inventory. I paid everything off, okay? Now I'm in day one, July 1st, 2006. I'm standing there. My anniversary, 14-year anniversary is coming up, right? So I'm like there. And I have $800 left in my.
Shut up.
Yes.
No. So cash flow is everything in business.
Yes, dude. Especially then.
Yeah.
So I had $800 left in my savings account after paying everything. So July 1st was I think it was a Saturday. Yeah, it was a Saturday.
Okay.
So I start. Okay, it's time to make some sales, man.
Yes.
So we had some pending jobs that were not Auto Haas's job, not mine. It was in between. So I was like, all right, Senior's like, you could have all these jobs, just pay the commission to Charlie, the guy that was working there at the time.
Okay.
Because Charlie wasn't going to work for me. I told everybody, I don't want to have anybody at this shop that's already here. I'm starting fresh. There was only one guy I kept, and his name was, there was a Latino gentleman, Orlando. I kept him because I got him the job. I brought him from Monet into
so he was your guy already.
Yeah, he's my friend.
Yeah.
So I brought him into Auto Haas because after I left Monet, he was like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
So I got him into Auto Haas. Then I transferred him to the Napa store, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to buy this store, all right?
I need you to
start making things. It's not going to happen right away.
Yeah.
I talked to Senior months before. It took 4-month process, right?
But take care of clients, take care of business.
Start it up now.
Yeah.
Take care of them and be good. Make every job perfect, man. We want to get that rep back up.
Okay.
Because that store had a little bit of a reputation of overcharging and stuff.
Okay.
Like that, right. So we needed to fix that rep
Yeah.
because they had managers there that were very good, and they had managers that were bad. Right.
Gotcha.
My friend David was actually a manager there a few years before that. That's how I met him.
Okay.
He called me one day. This guy worked for like JL Audio, like all these big names, right?
Okay.
He was a rep. So he's managing the store. And when I went and helped him that day at his sale, remember I told you I
the
went?
midnight sale. Yeah.
Right? So he calls me the next day and he's like, I got to tell you something. I go, what's up? He goes, you're the best salesperson I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen so many salespeople. You're amazing at your craft. I just wanted to let you know that. And you know, like him saying that gave me even more because this is coming from somebody huge.
Yeah.
Right. So I felt like it was coming from some big shot because he worked for JL. He's been around the country.
He's seen a ton of salesmen around. Yeah.
So him saying that was huge. And then we had a Midnight Madness sale in Hayward. And dude, there was like 7 salespeople and me. Dude, no customers because that's my store. That's my territory.
Yeah.
All the customers, I'm going to wait for him. I'm going to wait for him. I want to wait for him.
No.
So all these guys are with their notepads and I go, okay, why doesn't he start off the sale and then I'll finish it off? Like, because I had to stack on. I was like, go get me a Red Bull. Like the manager got a Red Bull and I'm like selling. It was so
cool.
much fun.
That is so cool.
And then I was like, I'll split the commission with you. Don't worry, just go.
Yeah.
Let's help this customer. It's about the customer, right?
Yeah.
So like that's what they were. And that day he was like, see, I told you you're the best salesperson I've ever seen. So like that brought confidence to me, right? So now we're at $800. Go back to that story.
Yeah.
Right. And getting cars in here.
How many employees do you have?
Just 2. Right.
And are they hourly or salary or commission?
Hourly.
Oh, so you have overhead that's coming up.
That's going to be
weekly payroll.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2-week payroll.
So the funny part was, so those 2 guys worked their butts off. It was just the 3 of us.
Okay.
Dude, I worked 7 days a week in the beginning. I worked every single day. Sundays we'd be closed, but that day I would clean. I would input inventory. I would pay bills, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't have a girlfriend or nothing at the time. I broke up with my lady at the time, and I was living with my uncle. My uncle let me live with him for free, dude.
Okay.
Like my aunt would cook me the great meals. Dude, my aunt, amazing woman, bro. She would cook the greatest food. And like my cousin, he lived there too. He's younger than me. And he was always like, dude, I don't know why the hell my mom is cooking so good right now. She's showing off for you. I was like, nah, man, it's all good. Your mom's food is amazing. So she'd cook Indian food, catfish is amazing, like all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, but I was like, I had such a unique opportunity because I got to live with my uncle for free. I stayed there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, go back home, do laundry, do whatever, right?
Okay.
And then I'd come back. And during the week, I'd live there. And then on the weekends, I'd go back to Daly City.
Gotcha.
But, man, it was...
and how old were you?
At that time?
When
26, 25, 26.
25, 26 when you opened up the shop.
Yep.
$800.
So
now you're going, I wish I would have financed some of it.
Right. No, but it's good. I didn't.
Okay.
Because I'm going to tell you. So I started getting customers coming in. So the first day, Saturday, kind of slow.
Yeah.
July 1st. July 2nd, Sunday, we're closed. July 3rd, slow as heck. Like hardly anybody walking in.
Yeah.
I was like, what the heck? Next day, July 4th, we're closed. So now I'm like, on July 4th, I'm like, dude, this was a mistake. What am I doing? I shouldn't have bought this store. And then July 5th comes in. First customer that walks in, younger guy, local dude. I was telling him, like, man, yeah, it's been kind of slow. He's like, dude, this is Napa. Everybody leaves around this time, or they're out doing stuff. They're at the lake. They're here. Don't worry about it. Watch. It's going to get busy. I was like, all right. And sure as heck, it got busier and busier slowly. I remember I used to go on Facebook while I was at work because it was slow. Like, I can't even think about even looking at Facebook for 5 seconds nowadays. Right?
Yeah.
That's the big change. So I got the $800. I get customers walking in. It was cool. It was cool. Then all of a sudden I get this one customer walk in, right?
Okay.
I'm making money though. So I get this one guy walk in and he calls me first. He's like, hey man, I got a stereo system installed from a place down the street. They're not open there anymore. I guess there was another stereo shop down the street. I actually looked to buy in them too, but they were behind the Adobe building and it was a bad place. And I was like, I don't want it.
Yeah.
And I was there for like 6 hours. The phone didn't even ring once. Not even one person walked in. So I was like, I don't want it.
So you took time to go to these
I
stores.
went
Like
to
you
every
invested.
store, Walnut Creek. I spent time there. I even worked there for like a day or so on my days off. I'd go in there, work there just to see what
I think
what
there's a
it's
huge
about.
lesson in that right there.
Oh, absolutely.
Like the time you took to see and put in.
Nothing's work.
It wasn't about, oh, let me make some. I'm gonna put in time. Am I gonna get paid? It was like,
No, I didn't want to get paid. I just wanted to experience,
find
and
out,
see what's
just,
going on.
just the interest you have,
Correct.
that you had when you first started. Okay,
Yeah.
so you were there for 7 hours. Phone doesn't ring.
Yeah,
So
and
this
I'm like, this place sucks. I'm not gonna buy this place. And
so this guy calls you up.
okay, yeah, and he was like, I want to assist. So I go, come on down, get him in. Like, you can't make a sale over the phone.
Yeah.
So I gave him some info. He liked what I was saying. He brings it in. I go, let me see your car. I always like to go out to a car, right?
Yeah.
I always want to see the car. I try to teach people that. Some people don't get it. They're lazy. They don't want to go out to a car, but you have to. How else can you relate with the customer? You got to see what they're all about. They
Yeah.
can talk to you until they're blue in their face, or
A
until
car tells a lot about a
Yeah.
person.
Not only about the person, but it tells what the actual problem is that you need to diagnose.
Yeah.
They don't know how to describe it. My car goes zzz when I have the volume at 15. What are you gonna do there?
Well,
Right?
yeah, the first thing I would think would be like, well, let's go check it out.
Exactly.
Okay.
We gotta go to the car. And
Okay,
hear it.
okay.
I want to hear the zzz for myself.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a bad ground. Oh, it's just this or that, right? So go to his car. I see the system. He's got some kicker woofers. He's got some pot. It's like, this is actually not a bad system. I'm thinking to myself, right?
Uh-huh.
And I tell him, I go, what do you want to change? Just a couple of things. I want it all redone. All of it? Yeah. I go, some of this product we can nope, I want it all redone. I don't want any of this shit. He was like mad.
Okay.
I was like, all right, come on in. So we're talking. I'm starting to put stuff together. I'm like, okay, you want a touchscreen? You want a DVD player? Okay, Focal. At that time, I was carrying this brand called Focal, and now I carry it again. For a while, I stopped carrying it. You want these top of the line speakers in the front, made out of Kevlar, back speakers. I started showing them all the best stuff.
Yeah.
W7 JLs, 8-inch, 4 of them. So then he's like okaying everything, and then we go to sound deadening. We got a sound deaden the car. Then we go to remote start. So after I do it all, and it's like $20,000, right?
Yeah.
And I show him, I'm like, to redo it the way you want, this is it. He goes, go lock your front door. I go, what? Lock your front door. I go, okay. I go lock my front door. So he had baggy old jeans on. Underneath his jeans, like he pulls the jeans down and he's got some sweatpants on. Inside the sweatpants, he pulls out like fucking cash like this.
Shut up.
Wads. And he starts laying down 20 G's. Bro, swear. 20 G's on the freaking counter. And I'm like,
What is going on here?
how long do you need my car? About a month, 2 months? He goes, all right, take it. He leaves the car, leaves 20 grand. Dude, he was an angel. God sent, bro, like an angel.
Right,
Because
yeah.
I remember what I had left.
$800.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden I got that 20 grand, and then from there I just kept building my bank account, right?
Yeah.
And but that's where it started.
That's
But there's still bills and stuff like that.
yeah, but you put in so much, and I look at this, and just for my own life, when something good happens, it's like, man, look at how much work I put in behind the scenes, without expecting to get paid, without like, you know what I mean? Like you put in so much work, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, you got lucky, or
Yeah.
you get something like that, and it's like, man,
Yeah.
no, it's the world comes full circle.
Yeah, Ron, he still comes to my shop till this day.
Does he?
He's still there. Dude, he left that El Camino at my shop for years. It was just in my shop. I was like, hey, you gonna pick this thing up? It's all right. You do have space for it? I go, yeah, I got space, but you should pick. But you know what? The good thing was I kind of enjoyed it being there, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I was able to take so many customers into that car, and it was such a great experience. Like, people would sit in, and we'd hit the bass, and your hair would shake. If you're like chest, you're like, oh, right? So these kids, all of a sudden, you get these young kids coming in, and they're like, can we hear the El Camino? I heard you guys got El Camino that just pounds. We want to hear it. We want to hear it. So I was like, all right, come on. Like I would take these kids like and let them listen to it and all that stuff, right? So like the kids, I enjoy the kids, right? They're cool kids. They're all old now. They all have like, they're all, you were a kid coming in there.
Yeah.
They're all married now. They're all kids. And they have their own kids now, right? Babies. But I love seeing that, right? It's like, there's a couple that actually met at Audio House, right?
No kidding.
And they got married I've been invited to their weddings, and it's like, it's great, man. It's great building these relationships. But, so I would take these kids in, and they would just like get their heads shaken, and then they'd leave. Then some of them would buy stuff, some of them would come back, but you treat everyone with respect. And like there's places where you go and they look at this kid coming in, they're like, this fool's gonna buy shit. Here's $100 CD player, pick whichever one you want. Yeah. Right. And then they walk away. Where that $100 CD player one day is going to turn into a huge system. Maybe he'll want a TV when he has his kids, right? Yeah. You have to give respect to everyone. There's a kid that came into my shop back in the day, he's like one of my first customers. Okay. Last week he came back to me with a brand new car. I'll tell you that story in just a sec. First, let me tell you when he came in. He came in and he wanted some beat, but he only had like a few $100s. So I gave him a huge discount, made it work, right? Yep. I wanted to help this kid. Yep. Plus, at the same time, he's a local kid. He's going to put the word out, right? Yeah. So I told him, I go, I'm going to hook you up, but tell everyone about me, okay? Please? Yeah. He's like, yeah. So he goes and he's like showing his car off, and he brings business in. So now let's fast forward 14 years later. He comes in. He has a brand new Subaru he just bought, and we just put a fat system in his car. And he picks up his car. He listens to it, and he's like just so happy. Yeah. Then 3 hours later, he calls me, right? Jack, hey, what's up? Everything okay? Like, you expect some bad. For sure. Like, fuse blew or something, right? Yeah. Dude, I just want to tell you, I haven't even gone home yet. All I've been doing is driving my car around listening to my stereo. Like, that's the best compliment you can
Doesn't
get.
that make you feel good?
That's what you do this for.
Because once you get a little bit of money in the bank, it's not about, you know what I mean? It's like the joy you get from helping and running, and just like the excitement of seeing that,
That's my boss, right? Like, my customers are my boss, right? Yeah. So I want to please them, and when they're happy, bro, that's like this is why we do this. Like, even my installer, I got a guy, Chris, he works for me. He did a system for this guy in a boat. And the guy with the boat was so like happy, and he goes, see, bro, this is why I like doing this. Yeah. This is it. This is what, if it wasn't for this, I wouldn't even do this job. Yeah. I was like, that was huge.
That's
like when
huge.
Your employee's saying that too, because he's got the same mindset and same dream as you. And you have to remember, as a business owner, sorry to cut you off. No, you're good. As a business owner, you know who your number one customers are?
Well, you got to take care of your employees, and your employees take care of your people, the customers that come in.
Your first customers are your employees. Yeah. Because if they're not sold on you, how is your customers going to be sold? How are they going to sell your customers on your stuff, right?
They're not going to be. Right? I learned that when I worked in the grocery industry, and watching upper management, and then how the employees would react is like, it wasn't like we're on the same page. It was like us first them. And I always thought, man, I wonder, why don't they just take care of the employees, and then the employees will just take care of the customers? Stop focusing on, like
negativity.
Yeah, just focus on taking care of them, and then it'll trickle down. And so, yeah, it's taking care of your employees is huge. How many employees do you have now?
Right now we have 10.
10 employees.
Yeah, but I've got a couple of employees that are like contract, because I have a guy that has his own business, but he'll come and help me sometimes. So I've considered him an employee in a way. He's a contractor, but other than that, it's full-time employees. Yeah, so nine plus him.
And then you moved. So you moved from that first location. Did you buy the real estate that you're at now?
Absolutely.
So now you own the business. You own the real estate. That's huge.
And I bought the property next door.
The one, the shop right next to the auto body shop.
Yeah,
is that an auto body shop?
No, the auto body shop is on this side. Okay. On this side, it's a mechanic place, Auto City. Okay. And then there's the taco truck. Right?
Oh, so you bought that whole corner?
That whole corner's mine.
The whole corner's yours.
Isn't that cool?
That is real cool. And owning the real estate is key with owning your, because you're paying a lease anyway, so might as well pay something that's
Right.
going to return you in the future.
Exactly.
So that was a smart move. How long have you been there now?
5 years now.
5 years. Seems like just yesterday.
I know, right?
It seems like just
flies,
yesterday.
time flies. Yeah, so that was a hard, man. So business is not all about just collecting money and
No.
making people smile. It is, right?
Yeah.
That's like the goal, but it's there's a lot of ups and downs, man. There's like, see, I've lost weight. I've been stressed out. I've gotten sick because of the stress that's on there, man, right? So you have to remember that a business is not just all smiles all the time. There's a lot of hardship involved. I've been through downs and ups, and during this whole journey, again,
Yeah.
not to keep using that word, but during this whole journey, I like lost the lease, right? To the other
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't really lose the lease, but so I had to go to court. So what happened is I'll share the quick story. So what happened is, I signed the lease in 2006. After I signed the paperwork to buy the business,
Yeah.
the landlord came in. Nice old lady, dude. She's so cool. She had the same birth date as my dad.
Okay.
Sweet, right? She goes, "This is how much your rent is." I go, "Okay, cool. That's really reasonable. Thank you." I go, when will it increase? Just pay me on time. I don't care about an increase. I want you to make money. Just pay me my money.
That's
And
cool.
Make lots of. She was so nice, bro. God bless her. So she got a little sick, right?
Okay.
As with age.
Yes.
She's in her 90s. So her kids, grandkids, if you will, they came in and they said, "Hey, you're out of a lease." They just gave a letter to everyone in that complex, "Get out." Now I'm like, "Oh, dude, what the heck, dude?
Yeah.
What am I gonna do?" So I pull up my lease and it says I have 5 more years left.
Okay.
So I show them and they're like, "Well, we don't think it's valid, right? You didn't do it in a timely manner." I go, "Yes, I did," right? So I get a lawyer, talk to the lawyer. So he's like, "Look, this is what their lawyer's saying. So she came in. She asked me how much of a lease I want. I was like, let me ask my dad and my uncle, the gentleman."
Some
I was
advice.
like, I want advice, right, from my uncle. So I take it to him and he's like, "Just get options, right? And get options. Get a 5-year, then get another 5-year, and make sure you get an option to buy too. You never know what can happen."
Yeah.
I was like, "All right." So that's exactly what I asked for. And when she came in, she signed the paperwork.
Yeah.
Black pen.
Yeah.
Came in the next day, blue pen. I signed. So now it looks like 2 different, right? Because
Yes.
one's in black, one's in blue.
Yes.
So the lawyer's like, "Dude, they're gonna try to say that you forged it or something, and we can't call her in because she's
the situation she's in, she's
she's
elderly.
sick,
Yeah.
right?" So I was like, he's like, "Here's what you should do. Tell me." He goes, "We'll fight this if you want, or save your money, go start looking for a new place. We'll get this 5 years. Maybe all they want is more money. We'll pay them extra rent, and let's just figure this out." I was like, "All right, let's see if they go for that." So we started negotiating some rent back and forth. They finally settled on a deal. They gave me 3 years option for the last 5 that I had. They just wanted more money, right?
Okay.
So that in turn kept everybody else still in too.
Gotcha.
Then Kastner came in one day and they want to buy. Honda Kastner comes in, they want to buy the building, and
Yeah.
they took over. So now my lease is to them. So I'm looking for a spot hard, right? I'm looking everywhere. I'm like, "Dude, my business is actually doing good. I don't want to lose this."
Yeah,
right?
and you're right on a main strip.
I
Like
know.
you're on in the perfect location.
Right?
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden we hear the local muffler guy is selling his business or releasing the business building he bought. So I went and talked to him. Mr. Holcomb was his agent at the time, and we talked and a little bit going back and forth. He wanted like $8,500 a month. It was a ridiculous amount of rent, right? But it's
Yeah.
on Soscol, main drag. So I made a joke before I left. I go, "Man, just sell me the building."
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
then I leave. So a week later, the guy calls me. He goes, "Hey, were you serious about buying the building?" I go, "Yeah, you want to sell it?" "Yeah, I want to sell it." "Okay, cool. Let's do it."
Nice.
So he goes, but I don't want any realtors involved.
Of course,
I was like, "What?"
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, all right, but I got mine, right?
Yeah.
So I had to use my guy. I was like, I can't do this without a realtor. I got to have my guy. You can just. So he had some cousin of his write up the paperwork. So we did it all, right? We
Yeah,
got it
yeah.
all. And that's how I was able to buy that business,
That's so cool.
that building. Sorry.
And was it that whole lot, the corner piece?
No, it was just the
main one that you have right
hi-fi
now.
muffler building, right?
Yes.
That was, and it was a trash.
It was.
So bad, disgusting, garbage. Oh my God, right?
Well, it's a muffler shop, you know.
But it was worse. Like it was horrible. So I had to tear that down, spend so much money on redoing that whole building, redoing the lot, redoing the striping, redoing the inside, get rid of the garages, make garages in the back, make a showroom in the front.
Yeah.
Put another garage on the side for tinting because I wanted to have tinting and audio not in the same place anymore, because in the old shop it was in the same garage.
Oh.
And dude, they would like start coming to fisticuffs. They were ready to fight, dude. My tinners and my installers. I told you don't cut that piece of wood. I'm tinting. What? I told you don't tint yet. I'm gonna just cut this bit. And it's like they're like,
okay,
because
gotcha.
they love their jobs.
Yes,
okay? They want
passion.
we're all passionate.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Audio House. Every employee in there that's been there is passionate as hell about their job. They love their job, right?
Oh, that's perfect.
They love working on their cars. We enjoy this, man.
Yeah.
And they're passionate, so they're like ready to fight each other. I had to like break up fights. Like, dude, chill, man, chill.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and make two different bits. So that's why I made a tint area, and then we've got the other area, which is the car audio department.
Perfect.
And electronics, because we just don't do car audio anymore. It's electronics department. This is the tint and clear bra, whatever department.
Okay.
So the ultimate goal one day, right,
Yeah.
is going to be develop the property next door and make my business into a bigger shop, do more things, right?
Okay.
I thought about doing rims and tires and stuff like that, but I don't really think we're going to do that. But we're going to do more truck accessories. That's a goal. That's something we're thinking of doing.
Like putting lifts on trucks and that sort of stuff?
Maybe lifts and stuff, but mainly the bolt-on accessories. For instance, camper shells, toes, steps, side steps, the
Okay.
bolt-on stuff, lighting, more lighting, stuff like that.
Okay.
We're already doing it. We've
Okay.
already started it now. So it's not to the point where I want it to be, but we do them all the time.
Gotcha.
But I feel like there's a
market for that?
Yeah, I think there's a market for that. Plus it goes hand in hand with my business already.
Yeah.
So like people have tried to do that business in Napa from what I understand, but it's hard when it's just that key component. But when you mix it with other business, then it succeeds, right?
Yes.
Like having a window tint shop by itself, very difficult.
Yes.
But when you have it with a stereo shop and this, then now it's part of that, right? And it becomes that much easier to do.
And it's easier for the client. It's full circle for them. They can just drop it off. All right, I'm going to get my stereo. I'm going to get my tint. I'm going to get my accessories put on.
Right.
And now I'm good. I
Right.
pick up my vehicle and it's a different vehicle.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep. And we started, we're part of this thing called Mesa right here.
Okay.
So Mesa is a it's a group of some of the best stereo shops in America.
Okay.
You have to be invited to this group, right? So in this group, we're also we got buying power too, right? So we can
Yes.
get extra deals, back end deals, get extra percentage off, but at the same time, they help with marketing. There's all kinds of stuff. And then we have a summit every year in Colorado. Go to that, and that motivates me more because I see all these great owners.
Yes.
I learn from these great men, and they teach you and they share their secrets, and it's fantastic, man. I learned so much at that time, at those meetings and summits, and it's a great thing.
That's really cool. And masterminding and getting around people who are doing big things. And like I was telling you, that's one of the reasons I started this podcast, was to be around other business owners and hearing their stories and what it takes.
Yeah.
And that's super cool. And so is the mechanic shop still next door?
Yeah,
So are
they're
you
still
leasing
there.
it?
I'm leasing it right now, at least. And then the taco truck's paying me some money too to lease out that area for now. And then we need to get the drawings. We got an architect, get the drawings.
So it's a plan in place, and
getting a plan in place right now.
What's your time frame? What are you thinking?
If everything goes well, then the next couple of years at the most.
That's awesome.
Yeah. at the most.
That's really
my goal was this year.
Well, this year it's people, we got kicked in the pants on this year. You know what I mean?
I had to really back off
Yeah.
those plans. So yeah, it's all good. And the guys next door are great. Good men. So they pay their rent on time. They do good work. They're nice. They treat me well. And yeah.
That's gonna really improve that corner.
Yeah,
once you develop it. Yeah, because it's a great location.
City was happy when I bought it. They were like, okay, this guy's.
Well, you transformed it.
Yeah.
I remember when all of a sudden it was like, oh man, audio. When all of a sudden your front end happened, it was like, wow, that looks really, really good. It completely changed that little section right there.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. If you do the rest of it, like that corner, and what's nice is you don't have anybody on that side of you, so it just the branding on that corner is gonna be perfect.
Yep.
That's a good move, but it's how luck luck and hard work falls into play.
The whole time when losing the lease, lots of things happened at that time. I was being tested, I think, by a higher power. The universe, God, whatever you believe in, I believe I was being tested and I was being put. And every day I think that's still happening, but it's I got put in a really, really hard situation, right?
Okay.
So first I got the lease situations happening. Second, I get IRS kibs and what's it called?
Oh, audit.
Audit.
Oh,
yeah, it's okay. It was fine. Nothing. I didn't do anything
but
wrong.
Still,
but it's just stress, right?
Yes.
Anytime you say those three letters,
yes,
in IRS, you get worried. Anybody.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
Then the next thing is one of my the guy that I brought in, my friend that I've known since I was 17 years old, turns on me, right, and he sues me. So basically,
so now you're going through a lawsuit with a friend, so it's like even worse than
So just to go into that story, if you want to know real quick, basically I bring this guy in. It's the guy that I said go over there and start doing good work.
Yes.
He goes. A few years go by, right, and we're succeeding, and we're drifting a little bit apart, right, because we used to hang out more. But now I got my wife, right.
You're growing up,
I can't be drinking every night with them and just partying. And those days are gone. I can't do that anymore.
Yes.
So we drifted a little bit apart. At the same time, I hire a couple of managers. He butted head.
Okay.
He wasn't as profitable as he once was because the industry was changing.
Okay.
And we have to use the computer more to program cars. Every day we're using the computer to program a steering wheel control, to program a harness, to program an alarm. There's so many things.
So new skills have to be learned.
Correct, but he was stuck in the deck in 4 days.
Okay.
Where you install a deck and 4 speakers, call it a day, get out of here. Or basic alarm.
Gotcha.
Remote start alarms took him 2 days to do, where they should be done in 3-4. It was at a point where I was so scared to even sell a remote start alarm system when I had him, because I knew the car would be there all day and I wouldn't make any more money off that guy. He's only going to work on that car, and it's a coin flip if he's going to get it right the first time.
Gotcha.
Where now we could do a remote start in an hour, 2 hours, right?
So it was a liability. He became a liability.
He became a liability, but you see, this can work against you, the heart. Yeah. I told all the managers, I go, you guys can do whatever you want, but you can't fire him.
Okay.
I know he's not profitable. I know he's not at 50 points. I know he's not at 40 points even. I know he's sometimes at 30 if we're lucky. But he's not making us that much money, but he's still at least paying for himself in a way. Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes. But he was not profitable at all. Then he started milking the clock a little bit, right? So the guys, all the managers, every time, you need to get rid of this guy. I go, no, I can't.
Did you talk to him?
Yeah, but
so he didn't hear in one ear out the other. Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he's like, he thought I was changing, where I think he's changing. It was one of those
for
things.
Sure, yeah.
So he goes on vacation, comes back. I come to work late, and his toolbox is gone, right?
Okay.
I'm like, where's the homeboy's toolbox? And he's there like, oh, he said he quit. Oh, really?
Oh,
okay. Call him. Hey, man, call me. What's going on? If you're done, it's all good. Just let me know.
Yeah.
Never calls me, nothing, right? It's like he went like ghost on me. Then all of a sudden I get a call from it's called La Raza something. It's a group of people that help Latino community with like issues they have with work and stuff like that. Okay. So they called me and they're like, we want to see all his hours for the last this and that days, right? And I was like, you want to see his hours? Okay. I call my lawyer and he's like, don't give them anything until the labor board asks, right?
Yeah.
So we go and the labor board asks, I show them everything. And that whole year prior to him quitting, he started changing. He's like, hey man, my check, I think I got paid less. I'm like, you did? So sorry. So I'd write him a check or I'd give him something, right? Just to take care of him. Cause that's my boy.
Yes.
I trusted him.
Yes.
If he says something's wrong, I believe him.
Yes.
I've known him my whole life. He ain't going to do me like that. Right?
Yeah.
He's not going to do me dirty. So what ends up happening is we pull up all his stuff. They audit. We're going back and forth. We're going to court, coming back there. I offer him. I'm like, here's $1,000. You're done. I'm done. We don't need to talk again. He laughs at it. He goes, he wants $60,000.
Shut up. Get out of here.
60. How do you justify that, right? So, long story. They look at it and they're like, actually, okay, so we're going through this, and actually, Mr. Rattu, you overpaid him. But that screwed me because they're like, so if you've overpaid him, we need to see the rest of all this because your books are wrong. So that opened up all that, right? So which is no big deal because everything was good except for I had to end up paying $3,500, right?
Okay.
And I think 3,000 of it was a fine.
Okay.
For overpaying or something like that, not having, and then 500 was to him. I know.
But the stress that it caused
so
you,
stress.
yeah.
But it was like BS because, like, dude, his mom was like sick one time and he needed to go back to his home country and he needed some money. Dude, I wrote him a check. I go, boom, this is not a loan.
Yeah.
You're my brother. This isn't a loan. Here, take this, go.
Yeah.
And like people forget what have you done for me lately is what it's all about, right? Sometimes.
Well, they don't realize the weight that's on your shoulder either. Like you have, because was that around 2008 too? Right around that time as well?
The check that I gave him was around that time, and then the actual fighting time was a little bit after that.
Because how was business during 2008 with the downturn?
It was hard, man.
Yeah.
So look, you got to remember, I started in 2006, and all that stuff happened.
Yeah.
You know what kept us going was low overhead, obviously, but that law came into effect, the hands-free. Remember, hands-free, you can't talk on the phone while you're driving?
Oh, yes.
Dude, that helped us so much because we were selling Bluetooth adapters left and right. They became extremely the hottest ticket item I had.
Okay.
So we would have the wineries call in. We need to put Bluetooth. And we would have all kinds of agencies come in asking, right?
Yeah.
And so we were hooking up people with Bluetooth. And at first it was really expensive. So it was a high ticket item. And we were just getting all these cars done so people wouldn't get tickets while they're driving.
Gotcha.
And then, we opened up more things. That's when I started tinting, right? And that's when we started adding breathalyzers. We do the breathalyzer monitoring, like I was telling you earlier. That saved us during this whole COVID time to stay open because we're considered essential because of that. But anyways, we started broadening our horizons, if you will. We started doing more things.
Gotcha, man. That's awesome. And so, let me finish it out. I want to ask you two questions.
Go for it.
So, first question, knowing what you know now with all your success and what you've learned, the ups, the downs, what advice would you give yourself at 25 starting over?
That's a good question. I haven't thought about that. Let's think. So if I was starting my business and I'm 25 years old right now, what would I say? What would I do different? Or what would I say?
Just what advice, right? Because you're on a great path, it appears. So it's what advice? Like if you could say,
don't be afraid to say no. That's one thing.
Don't be afraid to say no.
That was my biggest thing.
Okay.
Whether it was taking on a job.
Okay.
Or telling somebody no. It was very hard for me to say no.
Okay.
Right? That's one. Like I would try to please everyone. Don't try to please everyone.
And then you'd please no one because,
right,
in a sense, you know.
In a sense, right? But here's the deal. Like, I want to make people happy. Some people just are miserable human beings. You can't make them happy, right?
Yeah.
So I would take that personal.
Okay.
Like, you can't take that. I would lose sleep.
Okay.
There's so many sleepless nights I went through because I'd worry about this car the whole day, whole night. I'd wake up in the middle of the night and be like, dude, I got to get this car done. I got to talk about this. I got to talk to this guy. I shouldn't, like, then I'm like, damn, I knew this job wasn't going to go this way. I shouldn't have taken on this job. Right. Like, stuff like that, little stuff like that. I would tell myself, don't be afraid to say no.
Gotcha.
Right. That's, to me, that's huge.
Warren Buffett, you know, one of the richest men in the world, he says no is probably the most important word he has. He goes, because every 100 ideas that comes across his desk, he says no to 99% of them, or 99 out of 100.
Right.
And you know, that's one of the things that I read is the power of saying no.
Right.
Is very powerful. So that's a good one. That's a real good one.
Yeah. It was hard.
It is hard, and it's probably still hard.
It's still hard.
Yeah, it's an ever, you know, because you want to take care of people. It's just a natural instinct, I think, as we have as people, is wanting to take care of people and not say no and make them upset. But at the end of the day, it's like you got to say no sometimes. Right. So that's a real good piece of advice to give your younger self. So my next question is, 10 years from now, the Jag 10 years from now, what advice would he give you today that you're not doing?
So maybe inventory control, get my inventory more in control, like stuff like that. Cause that's dollars sitting out there. Right. And you're like, that's what I feel like I have a really hard time with inventory right now. And the reason is because the hard time is this. It's, I tend to over order sometimes. Okay. Remember, like I told you, I like to please my customers. Sometimes I do that a little bit too much to the point where I'm starting to try to please my vendors too.
Okay.
Right. Try to hit numbers.
Okay.
I would tell myself, F the numbers, do what's right for your business. And I'm starting to learn that a bit now. Right. It took me 14 years, but I'm starting to learn that a little more. So those guys, I've learned to only feed the guys that are helping my store, right?
Gotcha.
So if I feel like there's a rep, right? He's actually a rep from a distributor, and I've fed his distribution, right, money, but they're so unprofessional that they say some crazy things, and it's just like, I'm done. I'm not going to feed those guys anymore, right? So my money's not going to go there anymore, like that. That's that type of stuff.
Gotcha. So almost saying no again.
Yeah, it's almost saying no again.
Yeah, but saying no in a different way.
In a different way.
Saying no to the other side of the business.
And controlling my inventory though too, right?
Okay.
Like, hey, do more min minuses, plus and minus on the min max. Okay. Min and max, minimum amount of order. So you got a wiring harness, right? Yeah. So Toyota harness. You're going to look at how many sold in the last, you look at how many you've sold in the last 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, 2 years, right? Yeah. And then you create a minimum that you need to have and a max not over. So if that's a high ticket, okay, we're going to have maximum of 10, minimum of 4. The minute it goes to 4, you go and reorder. Gotcha. Right? Don't let it get to 2 or 1. That's the problem I'm having. But another problem right now is, remember how we were talking about COVID? Yes. Let's bring that back up. Right now, the electronics industry is struggling so hard for product because of COVID.
Because the Chinese
are having hard time bringing stuff in.
Okay.
And we're waiting for product. June has been very hard. It's like my customers have been calling me, is my stuff in? Is my stuff in? Is my stuff right? Okay. And it's like, it's hard because I've ordered it and now my hands are cuffed, right?
I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
So July, I heard it's going to be even worse, but so I'm trying to load up a little bit on inventory on that part of it. Okay. But as far as once all that gets controlled, then I want to get better control and have better min-max.
And that could affect your bottom line of not being able to sell product because you don't have the product to sell.
That's all money. That's all. Like to an average person or to your workers, your employees, all this product looks like great stereos. Yeah. But to me, that's $500, $600, $800, $900, $200, $150, all that adds up. Yeah. That could all be in the bank account, right?
Yeah. investing, building
Or
the
investing.
building the
property next door.
property next door.
All right.
Yeah, awesome. And if people want to get their stereo done, what's the best way to get a hold of you, or tint or anything? What's the best way to
Just call into the shop.
the shop?
You can call into us at 707-252-1141 is our main line, been our line forever. They can go on our Facebook page. We have a Facebook page, Audio House. We have an Instagram, audio_house. We have a Twitter at Audio House, and you can just send us a message, direct message us, or best is the old school, just call in.
Just call in.
Come on down.
Check out. I'd advise people to go down there and check out because, like you said, you got to see what they have. You got to take a look at it, and that's awesome.
So I had a customer come in the other day, and he's like, "Dude, I like your store. It's like I walk in here, and I want to buy something."
You do. It's very inviting, and it's just cool.
And that was my goal. Like,
yeah,
I wanted people to walk in and be like, "Dude, I want to shop here. This place is cool." That's my whole thing, right? And it's always I always change it up a little bit. Like I'll add right now I've got woofers in the middle with like LED lights all on them, and then I'll change that up and make a pyramid or something. I like to just have a fresh look every month or so, and just have people continuously, when they come in, they see something different that catches their eye.
Man, that's awesome. And so I'll put all the links down below so anybody can see and get your address and everything.
Thank you.
Jack, I really appreciate you taking the time to share your story.
No, I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks you
for watching the Real Journey podcast. I appreciate you sticking around and seeing this one through. If you want to see more amazing content, I got some more videos right here of local entrepreneurs, business people, and people that are just trying to do good in our own community, sharing their story, sharing their journey. Make sure to subscribe. See you next time. I'm Matt Cole. This is the Real Journey podcast. Take care.